Now, given that D23 is going to be a bigger event than Star Wars Celebration that happened not too long ago during this month of April, we have a lot of new slates of Star Wars movies and TV shows that will be unveiled, and not just at that event, but also through all of the different, of course, announcements that Disney CEO Bob Iger will be making during his earnings calls on a quarterly basis throughout the rest of this year. So there's a lot of things happening with Jon, George, Dave working together as a trio for Star Wars Legends coming back to life essentially in live-action adaptations. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future Star Wars updates. I'm also on Twitter at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. Now, there's a lot of things happening with everything related to the Star Wars franchise right now. We know that there's a lot of fans that have been very upset with Season 3. There's also quite a number of fans that really enjoyed this particular season. It really is a tough road. You know, I'm not quite sure if it's an easy split between fans or if the majority did not like Season 3. To me, it seems more like the latter, where the majority are really having a big issue with Season 3. But moving on, we know that Dave Filoni has been really answering a lot of fans' questions and really staying in touch with the fan base, the community, whatever have you, and just really kind of setting up expectations for what's to come by himself and Jon Favreau. And speaking about Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni actually had a couple of things to respond to involving Favreau's fate at Lucasfilm and exactly where that leads and exactly where Favreau stands right now after Mandalorian Season 3. So let's get right into all of this. Now, we know that Favreau is and has been very busy with The Mandalorian Season 4, but Dave Filoni on the other end of the spectrum here, with Dave Filoni recently answering many fan questions directly from media outlets. However, Filoni recently responded to a rumor that has been circulating involving Jon Favreau leaving Lucasfilm and all Star Wars shows, where Dave Filoni responded stating the following. Okay, well, this is new to me, haha. Jon is not going anywhere, and that is just nonsense. He may very well be, yes, not participating or dropping out of some shows to focus on other ones more, with me and other creatives joining on expanding the franchise, but he is in no way leaving Lucasfilm or Star Wars entirely or in the general sense. That's just not happening, and I would like to make that clear. Jon is a big fan and loves working with me and Disney and loves what he has been doing with Ahsoka and more follow-up shows that come after that. So no, he's not stepping down entirely in that sense at all, not even in the closest. We have tons of projects lined up that Favreau has been involved in, and he is currently, however, right-sizing which ones to stay in touch with so he can make room for others. So let me just stop right here for 1 second. Now, this is something, by the way, that has been circulating the past couple of days about Favreau reportedly, quote-unquote, stepping down from Lucasfilm or just quitting entirely, and nobody really quite knew exactly what was going on with that. Now, the reality is exactly what Dave Filoni points out, is that Favreau may very well be kind of shifting away or, you know, taking a step back and just quitting from some projects here and there to focus on other ones more so, is what Dave Filoni wanted to elaborate on and really make clear to everybody out there, as he said. So, no, according to Dave Filoni, Jon is not quitting Lucasfilm, you know, out of all the Star Wars shows coming out, but it could very well have been something simple as maybe Favreau was going to be involved in this X project in order to spend more time on another project, to really kind of make that more of a rich, quality-driven show. Could have been as simple as that, and that's what Dave Filoni is really trying to elaborate on. Now, one thing about Mando Season 3 that has been, you know, made clear, not just by Jon and Dave, but also by Pedro, Pascal, and others involved in this actual project, that they didn't have full creative power during the scripting phase, and it was both technically, you know, maybe Jon and Dave's fault to some extent, because they themselves admitted that maybe their mistake was handing over a lot of creative aspects to many of the directors, one of which being Bryce Dallas Howard, and of course others out there. And themselves having some creative input into the scripting of the actual show, and on top of that, Kathleen Kennedy calling the shots. So It was like the perfect storm, and not in the good sense, for Mando Season 3. So, the next thing is that he goes on to elaborate, I know some fans may have been upset with Season 3, but neither myself or Jon made all those decisions. It was perhaps our mistake to allow so many directors to hold their creative input into some of the storytelling, and also Kathy had instructed us to not insert certain elements that we needed to either drop or not pursue. So we did have creative boundaries and issues, but it came with the job. Sometimes, of course, but our future is looking really good. I know Jon is revising Season 4 now, and is working on other stuff that I will be helping out with, but no, Jon will be with us for the years to come, as far as I know, and is not going anywhere in the general sense. We have great plans for Luke's future, and where he is going on, and how Ahsoka will be inserted into future projects as well, and how we can bring back Legends in all its glory. I'm actually really excited to share that with everybody. Now, Dave Filoni, I think, is the true guy. Now, I'm not hating on Jon Favreau or anything like that, but I just think that Dave Filoni is a better writer, Star Wars-wise, than Jon Favreau. Favreau's a good world builder. He's a really good, writer when it comes to world building, but not, as well as Dave Filoni's, storytelling technique. I think that the episode in Mando Season 2, when Ahsoka comes into the equation and helps Din and Grogu train together, that was a Dave Filoni episode. He did that. He wrote that. And that really stood out to me. The Book of Boba Fett when Luke enters, that too was a Dave Filoni episode. So if you guys like those two big episodes, that's what you're getting in Ahsoka. That's the style that you're going to get in Star Wars Ahsoka come this August. And so, I think that Dave Filoni, given that he's the true protege of George Lucas, he worked with George for many, many years during the Clone Wars animated series, and even before and after that, in other areas, he really knows how George Lucas thinks. So Jon Favreau is more of a fan of George. He loves George, but Dave Filoni actually knew George through and through on a personal basis, working with him day by day, for many, many years, prior to Disney even taking over Star Wars at that. So, anyways, there's a lot of things going into this, obviously, given that Dave Filoni is making it clear that Jon did not quit from Lucasfilm, alright? Now, we never even said that ourselves. Jon Favreau may have stepped down from a project or two, or, was let go from a project or two here by Kathleen Kennedy before in the past, but nothing, in the general sense, like he points out, of him quitting Lucasfilm entirely. And it does make a lot of sense, because he is working on Mando Season 4, he's still working on it to this day, and so, who knows, do you guys think Dave Filoni's lying to us, and he's kind of just telling us this, and what fans want to hear? I don't know. We've seen this happen with Ewan McGregor, where he denied the fact that he was returning as Obi-Wan Kenobi, kept on lying to the fans for years upon years, and even admitted that he hated lying to fans like that. So, maybe it's something like that, I don't know, we'll have to wait and see. So anyways guys, I would love to hear what you guys have to say about all this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, drop a thumbs up on this video, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to moon we hear them moans again.